An old man sprints from around the corner of a dark, yet futuristic spaceship. He is wearing an unearthly spacesuit and is carrying strange hockey puck-esque items in his arms. As he runs down the corridor, he is placing these discs on the wall of the ship.
You can never stop me!
Suddenly, a silhouetted figure follows him from around the corner. It stops and lifts up its arm-like appendage. It aims at the old man and fires some strange black liquid out of its clawed hand. The man dodges out of the way of the strange fluid, and it hits one of the items the man had placed on the wall.
Whoa!
The man is flung out into space. He looks around manically.
Where is she? Where is she?
Suddenly, a small blue box floats into the old man's view. He smiles at the sight of it.
There you are. Now just stay right there.
He presses a button on his suit which forces air out of the back of it, pushing him towards the box. Suddenly, the box bursts into flames as it hits the atmosphere of the nearby planet below.
You never listen.
He dives, following the box into the atmosphere. He was catching up to it. Flames cover his view out of his visor.
Faster! Faster!
Just as the man got close, he put out his hand. The tips of his gloved fingers were centimeters from the handle of the door on the box. The glass of his visor began to crack. Air entered the inside of the helmet. He took no notice of it.
Just a little closer!
Suddenly, the old man began to feel himself tire out. He realized that the force put upon his body from falling was making him black out. He slapped his damaged helmet in response.
Come on! Keep awake! Just a little longer!
The man's body feels limp as it nears the ground. The man had passed out, and he was now tumbling straight towards the ground with the box. A girl steps out of the front door of a house, isolated by the nearby woods and surrounding countryside. Her brown ponytail flicks back towards the door as she sticks her head through the entrance of her house.
Okay, Mom. I'm going now. See you soon.
She closes the blue door, and a small white dog goes darting excitedly through the door to join the girl outside. They begin walking away from their house and towards their local forest. The girl puts her hands in her pockets and watches her dog run around in extreme happiness. Suddenly, there was a massive burst of light that came from the sky above the forest.
What on earth?
The girl watched a trail of the same light head towards the ground. There was a ground-shaking bang as the light presumably made contact with the ground inside the woods. Smoke began emitting from within the forest. The girl was in utter shock. Worried about her dog, she looked around the surrounding area in search of it, and saw it running into the forest where the explosion took place.
No! Fruity, come back.
She chased it into the depths of the forest. The dog circled around so many trees so much that to the girl the forest became a labyrinth. Suddenly the dog stopped running and instead started to sniff the ground around its feet. The girl picked it up.
But
She looked up from the view of her dog as she picked it up. She was standing over the rim of a giant crater. She looked into its vastness and saw in the centre, amongst all of the fallen trees, a small blue box dwarfed by the sheer size of the crater that it supposedly created. Intrigued, the girl, carrying her oblivious dog, headed towards the centre of the crater. She stopped when she got to the box and turned her head to read the text.
public call. Police box.
She looked up into the sky where this object came from.
Well then, this is very obviously human, judging by the text.
She began to circle the unusual object that came from the sky, and behind it she saw a man just lying there.
Oh my god.
She rushed over to the man and kneeled over him, dropping her dog in the process. From inside the helmet of the suit he was wearing, the girl could see the man's face. It was old, wrinkly, and completely covered in blood. The visor that was supposedly attached to the suit's helmet had shattered and the shards had entered his entire face. The man was unconscious.
Hello? Are you awake? Hello?
She felt her pockets.
Damn, I forgot my phone.
She looked around for help.
Help! Help!
Do you mind keeping it down?
The old man slowly began to wake. The girl looked down in complete surprise. Her dog had been licking the man's face in happiness.
Are you hurt?
Hang on. Yep.
Okay, don't worry, I'll get you help.
She goes to get up. The man grabs her.
No! Don't do that. I'm fine.
Well, you're obviously not.
What's your name?
Skaya. I don't think that's important.
That's a nice name. My name's the Doctor.
Okay, the doctor. I'm going to get you some help, okay?
The doctor pushes his body up, putting himself in a sitting position. He then shuffles over to lean against the blue box.
It's okay.
He begins to take off the gloves included in his suit.
I'll be fine.
Are you able to walk?
I don't know. I haven't tried yet.
The doctor begins to take off his shattered helmet. He places it beside him.
I'll help you up. We can walk over to my house. It's only over there.
No! Don't.
Skye, not listening, grabs the doctor's arm and puts it over her shoulder. She tries to lift him up.
Oh! Ah!
As she does so, she begins to feel a burning sensation on her shoulder. She looks at it and sees the old man's hand glow an intense yellow colour. She pushes the arm off with pain.
Ow!
Skye takes a step back. The doctor looks at his hands with slight sadness in his eyes. He smiles.
It's begun.
What's happening to you?
Well,
He slowly gets himself up, overpowering himself with pain in the process. He looks at Skye while struggling to stand up.
why don't I just show you?
What's happening?
Oh, I can feel the next to me is a bit of a dunce. No change there, huh?
He looks directly at Skye.
Look after them, won't you?
He smiles as the glowing intensifies. Skye looks at him, flabbergasted. The glowing encompasses the doctor's entire body. Skye covers her eyes as she watches the doctor covered in this dream-like yellow light. Her dog hides behind her, frightened. glowing quickly dies down, showing a figure. A different figure, facing away from Sky now. The figure looks around in their now back-to-front spacesuit. Oh no. I've been put on backwards. Of course that happens to me. He listens to his voice, concerned. Oh no. Is that what I am? A Mona. He listened to what he just said. Guess I am. He tries to walk forward. His right leg shoots behind him. Okay, so the controls have been flipped. Backwards is forwards. His leg shoots back to its first position. Left is right? Okay, that's it. The controls are covered. Ow! He looks down at his feet, squashed inside his forward-facing space boots. He is immediately distracted. Oh wow, what's the word? Tall! That's it, I'm tall! He looks at his new view. He drops down to the ground, scared. Nope, it's too high up. That's a shame. Scared of heights too. Whilst on the forest floor, he continues to check himself over. In this time, Sky circled him, utterly confused. The doctor squishes his tummy. Okay, so my bowels are really awful as well. Not just the large intestine either. The medium intestine and the small intestine are also pretty bad. Don't even think a flea could fit through them.
Medium intestine?
The doctor looked up suddenly and saw the utterly confused Sky standing there. Don't you have one of those?
No.
Huh. He lifts up his right arm with his left hand. He feels all the way up the arm. Suddenly, he stands back up again and begins to back away from Sky. Hang on. I changed, didn't I?
Yeah.
And you saw me change?
Yeah, is there anything wrong with that?
Well, first, it's a bit embarrassing, and second, you don't even seem to be questioning it.
Well, weird things have been happening all day so far, so this happening too was much of a...
Oh, look! The doctor cuts Sky's sentence off as he sees a distant sign. It was an advertisement. Come here, look at this. Sky timidly walks over to the doctor. He wraps his long, thin arm over her shoulder. Look over there. Do you see that sign?
Yeah?
Tell me what it says. Sky stands there squinting and arching her neck closer to the sign, trying to read it.
No, I give up. I can't read it.
Well, I can. It says Bad Wolf Industries protects you. Wow, my eyesight is amazing this time. I'm like a watchtower, tall and can see really long distances. Or I'm like a bird of prey. The doctor leans against a thick, nearby fallen tree. He awkwardly puts his hand behind him and reaches a pocket at the front of his backward spacesuit. Sky, in this time, backs away from him and picks up her dog, constantly keeping eye contact with him. I don't really know, but what I do know, he takes a shattered monocle out of his pocket. I won't be needing these anymore. He chucks the monocle behind him. They land with a tinkle on the upturned ground.
Well done, you can see.
I know, right? Hang on. The doctor stares at the sign once more. I've heard of Bad Wolf before. But where?
Well, of course you have. It's the company that found a cure for the current pandemic. Unless you have been living under a rock, or in your case, living a bit too far above one.
Very funny. But I don't think I've heard it from there before. Wow, that's annoying. I can't remember. He walks over to the blue box. Instead of standing around here all day, you may as well do some investigating.
What do you mean by that?
The doctor stops and turns to her. Me and you are going to the company building to have a look around. Call it a day trip.
Good luck walking all the way from here to Oxford then.
Of course I won't be. You know what? I'll let you find out how I'm going to do it yourself. And anyway, you're gonna be coming with me.
But I have to get to college. I can't miss a single day.
Don't worry, I have that covered. He knocks on the wooden surface of the blue police box. Hey, stand up. We have a visitor. The box made a strange whirring noise. It almost sounded annoyed.
Did that thing just reply to you?
Yes, it did. I think I may have just woken it up. He turns to the box once more. Please? The box made another, slightly happier noise. Sky watched as the exterior of the box began to fade away before her eyes. Suddenly, it reappeared, bringing with it a giant gust of wind. Sky was mesmerized by it.
It's incredible. What is it?
The doctor leaned against it and pulled a confident face. It's called a TARDIS, which stands for Time and Relative Dimensions in Space. Pretty cool, huh? He opened the door of the TARDIS, while Sky stood there, taken aback.
So you're saying that thing travels through time? Like a time machine?
The doctor removes his head after a spark shot near his face. He closes the door. Oh yeah, it's in the name. He leaned against the blue frame of the box once more. It needs a second to redecorate. After the fall, the last interior didn't survive all too well. I'm not too bothered by that though. It didn't look that great in my opinion. The TARDIS made another noise, almost as if it was annoyed. Sorry, I stepped over the line by calling your hard work not that great. It won't happen again.
What else can that thing do?
Well, if you come with me, you'll find out. He gave Sky a smile.
Why me?
Well, my previous self must have trusted you enough to regenerate in front of you. So you've got to be good. She's done! He removed his shoulder from the corner of the TARDIS's exterior and opened the door. He entered the TARDIS. Wow. You've done an amazing job this time.
You want both of us to fit in there?
It's bigger than you think. Sky stood there unsure. Suddenly, her dog jumped out of her arms and ran into the box.
For a tea?
She ran after it, not thinking about what she was doing apart from getting her dog. The doctor watched as she ran around and around a green console, smiling as he did so. Suddenly, Sky slowed and took in what she was seeing. The doctor smiled, seeing her facial expression. What do you think?
It's...
Yes. Yes.
really, really ugly.
What do you mean it's really, really ugly? She carried on looking around the large room. The console was a nice shade of green and had a brown base. The ceiling was a nice aqua blue and had a low polycount texture. The walls were black. They looked like they were showing a view of the night sky. On four sides of the circular room were strange pillars. They were grey and had a blue light running up the centre of them. The doctor pulled a face at Sky.
Well, the color scheme is just... off.
Off? Don't worry, old girl. I completely agree.
Okay, now you're talking to it as if it were alive. This is so very normal.
Of course it's alive. He presses a blue button on the console and the door's shut.
What are you doing?
Well, we're going to the Bad Wolf Company, aren't we?
Well, I have a lot of work to do.
Remember? Time machine. We can get you to college exactly on time. You'll be fine.
But
Just trust me, okay? The doctor walked around the console, pressing buttons and switches as he went. Sit down over there. I'm a bit new to this layout, so it might be a bumpy landing.
bumpy landing?
The doctor smiled at her and pulled a big lever. The TARDIS began to make a sound of an engine. A blue liquid contained in the glass tube in the centre of the console began to form into a whirlpool. A blue tube light in the centre of the whirlpool began to fade on and off. The doctor beamed when he saw this. Oh wow, that looks mesmerising. He snaps back out of his daze and looks at Skye. She looks back at him, scared. He begins to take off his backward shoes, cramping his feet. He puts them back on, now the right way round. Are you okay?
Well, I never really agreed to this.
I can take you back now if you want.
No, don't. I want to see if you're telling the truth.
You've seen what this thing can do. How don't you believe me?
I don't know.
Well, here's proof. Just walk outside. Skye looked at the doctor, suspect, and then slowly gets up from her seat and walks over to the closed door. She grabs the handle and pulls on it. The doors creak open and sunshine floods into the TARDIS. She steps out and looks around, followed closely by the doctor.
We're in Oxford.
Not just in Oxford. He looks at a nearby clock. We've gone back in time about 2 hours? It was 8 o'clock when you found me, right? Skye wasn't listening to him. She looked around, confused. The doctor locked the TARDIS and walked up to her. That's the company building over there, isn't it? He pointed at a tall grey building. It was modern in design. The doctor began to walk over to it, his hands in his backwards pockets. Are you coming then?
Yeah, sorry.
She walked over to the doctor and began to walk with him. She realised something.
Hang on, how about Fruity?
Your dog? Oh, they'll be fine. My TARDIS will look after them. He smiles at Skye, and she smiles back. So then, what are you studying at college?
Biology and astrology.
Ah, two of my favourites. Along with history, of course.
Yeah, I find them interesting. I've always thought there was an alien life out there somewhere.
Well, you were right then.
Because you're alien.
Yeah.
Wait, you're actually an alien?
So you saw me do something as unhuman as imaginable, and you question if I'm alien or not. Of course I'm alien.
Oh, cool. Nice to meet you.
You two. They near the building, and they both look through the window.
There are a lot of security guards there, Doctor. I don't know if we can get through.
Suddenly, Skye sees the doctor enter the lobby area of the company building. He goes up to the reception desk. Skye follows him, slightly miffed. Look around, I'm just doing some... Oh, ID! Here you go. He hands the receptionist a blank piece of paper.
Why did you leave me out there?
I wanted to see how long you were going to stand there till you noticed. To be fair, you noticed pretty quick. Skye looked at him with an angry expression. The doctor carried on consulting with the receptionist. So is it all good then?
Oh, you're the people who came in here yesterday. You didn't need to show me this. You already said you were coming back today.
The receptionist hands back his blank paper. Skye notices this and looks at it confused. Ah, okay. I must have forgotten with all this work on my plate. What floor is it again?
Same here, Just take the lift to floor 3, please. From there, the lab should be straight ahead in front of you.
Thank you. Come on, Skye. They walk away from the reception desk and over to the lift.
What was that piece of paper?
The doctor holds it up with pride. Oh, this. It's called psychic paper. It shows people what they expect to see.
It has nothing on it. It's blank.
Really? He presses the lift's call button, confused at Sky's statement. He places the psychic paper in his pocket as he does so. Now you are an unusual case. Usually people can see at least something on there. Both Sky and the Doctor enter the lift.
What does that mean then?
The Doctor presses the third button up and the lift doors begin to close. Well, it means one of two things. Either you're naturally able to see through the deception of the psychic paper, or you just have no imagination whatsoever. What's that called?
An anesthesia?
That's it. Have you heard of it?
Yes, I have it.
That's sad. You know something? I can get that fixed for you if you like. I can give you the best imagination on planet Earth.
Really?
Of course. The lift stopped rising and the pair exited it, finding themselves in an extremely clean corridor. There was a glass door straight in front of the lift. Well, it does require going on another adventure after this one. To a distant planet called Verbiche. The animals there don't even have brains, which is ironic. Sky looks at him with excitement, but then her facial expression completely turns into a frown. The Doctor walks over to the coat rack and picks up a lab coat. Do you think this will look good on me? He notices Sky's unhappy face as he tries the coat on. What's the matter with you? Why do you keep changing your mood?
All these adventures sound fun. I don't know. You know what? It doesn't matter.
Sky walks up to the Doctor and picks up another lab coat. She puts it on. The Doctor looks at her skeptically as she does this. He looks through the window and into the lab, void of people, and immediately gets excited at what he saw. Oh wow! The machinery they have here is amazing! He swings open the air-sealed door and walks in. Sky follows. When she enters the room, she looks around confused at what the Doctor is getting excited about. She goes up to one of the machines.
So what are they?
The Doctor picks up a pill created from another one of the machines. They appear to be... Yep, the COVID pill. Well, a pill to cure COVID. Sky carries on wandering around the room, whilst the Doctor analyses the pill. Suddenly, one of the scientists come into the room. Oh, hello. We're health Ow! The scientist takes no notice of what he's saying and pushes the Doctor out of the way in order to get to the tray of pills. The Doctor watches suspiciously as the scientist dumps the pills into another machine. The Doctor stares at the machine. Aha!
What is it?
Well, this machine is not from this world. It's called a fertility chamber.
Why would they need one of those to create a pill?
I have no idea. The Doctor's attention goes from the machine to the scientist. The Doctor waves his hand in front of the scientist's face. There wasn't any response. Huh. That's strange. The Doctor reaches his hand behind his back to access his pockets and get out a small metal tube. He presses a button on it and a light begins to shine towards the scientist. The light begins to flicker out. Oh, come on!
What is that?
It's called a sonic screwdriver.
What does it do?
Well, at the moment, nothing, because it doesn't work. He throws the sonic on the ground and watches as it disintegrates on contact with the floor. Sparks begin to fly out of the shell of the dying Sonic. No!
Look!
The Doctor looked at what Sky was referring to. It was the scientist. It seemed some of the shrapnel from the Sonic had lodged itself inside the scientist's stomach. In place of blood, strange black liquid poured out of the wound. Oh, wow! Sky, bring me that test tube over there. Sky grabs the test tube that the Doctor was referring to and gives it to him. The Doctor then holds the vial underneath the wound and lets the liquid drip into the entrance of the tube. Is there some sort of stopper? The Doctor looks up to see Sky holding a stopper. He smiles at her. Thank you. He places the stopper on the entrance of the vial and straightens up. Can you hold this for me, please? I'm going to investigate this unearthly machine here? Sky takes the vial from the doctor and he rushes over with excitement to the machine. Sky watches as the scientist walks away from where the pair are. He heads towards an open window.
No!
The doctor instantly looks up from the guts of the machine. He sees the man climbing onto the window ledge. The scientist begins to slide himself off. No! He runs over to the man, arms outstretched, and got there just as the scientist went from view. The doctor looked downwards out of the window and heard a crack as his head landed on the paved ground below. People began to look up at the doctor. They begin to get their phones out. We need to get out of here, now.
Why?
They think it was me who killed him.
Oh God.
Both begin to hear the noises of sirens from the open window, nearing closer as time went. Come on! Both run out of the lab and into the lift. The doctor presses the ground floor button repeatedly. Have you still got the vial? Sky holds up a glass tube, filled with the strange liquid. Good. The lift doors close and the lift begins going down.
Is this what all of your benches are like?
Is this really the time to be asking me that?
Answer it.
Well, usually they go a little smoother than this, but sometimes yes. Sky looks down, unsure if she likes his answer or not. The doors open. Come on! They both exit the lift and head towards the building's exit.
What are we doing?
We need to analyse that stuff.
Where are we going then?
To the TARDIS. They exit the building and suddenly lots of police cars pull up and lots of policemen and women go into the building. The doctor looks down as he and Sky head away. Okay, get in. He holds the TARDIS door open and Sky heads in. The doctor follows and closes the door. Right then, let's see what this stuff is.
Are you not even going to talk about the fact that someone commits suicide right in front of us?
Nope.
Does that always happen? Death?
The doctor does not look at her. He carries on pressing buttons and switches. Does that matter at the moment? Suddenly, an arm pops out of the console, and the doctor slots the vial into it. The TARDIS takes it in, and something pops up on the monitor. The doctor looks at it.
Look at me!
The doctor shamefully looks up at Sky.
Do people die around you? You seem too used to it.
More would die if I wasn't here.
Oh, so you think if we won that today, that man still would have jumped off the roof?
Maybe. Well, we don't know why he...
He did it because you lodged a bit of your toy into his stomach. And then you found it fascinating.
I think he was dead already. I think there is something controlling him. That's why he jumped. Nothing to do with me. He carried on reading what was on the screen. Come and look at this. Sky walked over in an annoyed way. Look, you know biology. What does that cell structure look like to you?
That's amniotic fluid. But he will say...
Male, I know. It didn't even look like amniotic fluid either, it was black.
So you think amniotic fluid was the thing controlling him?
No. There has to be something else though.
Well, we can't find out anymore since the police are all over that building now.
Exactly.
Where are we going now?
Hang on. We're here!
Where?
They both exit the TARDIS and step out into the same place they just were.
What? We have gone nowhere.
The Doctor closes and locks the TARDIS doors and begins to walk towards the building. Sky follows. What do you notice?
Hang on. All the police have gone.
She looks at the clock.
It's 12 o'clock. We have gone forwards in time.
Nope, back. It's the day before now.
Interesting.
They both enter the building, and the doctor heads to the receptionist. Hello there. I'm here to do health and safety checks.
May I see an ID, please?
Of course. The receptionist looks at it for a bit, then hands it back. Is everything in order?
Yes. Now where do you need to check first?
I was wondering if I could speak to the boss. You know, about how they want to arrange things.
Of course. Just go to that lift. And it's on the 4th floor.
Thank you very much. Oh, and I'll be back tomorrow. Sky and the doctor head to the lift. The doors open and the doctor presses the 4th button up. The doors close and the lift begins to rise. Did you think the receptionist sounded a little different?
Yeah. Strange. Another thing, why did you want to see the boss?
I think they're somehow involved with this. I don't really know, I just get that feeling. The lift dinged to a halt and the doors opened. The pair stepped out and headed down the red carpet straight to a wooden door at the end of the corridor. Here goes. He knocks the door. From inside they hear some squelching noises.
Come in.
The doctor and Sky timidly enter the room, and there is a man standing behind a desk in the centre of the room. One half of his face was slightly lopsided. The room was luxuriously decorated with wooden walls, red carpet and gold accents. A painting filled the entire ceiling.
Have a seat. My receptionist said we had some house inspectors here.
Thank you. He and Sky sat in 2 chairs placed in front of the desk. Hey there, so we were wondering how we can start a health assessment? We just thought we should get confirmation from you first.
Stop playing with me, doctor.
Suddenly, armbands appeared from the arms of the chair. They wrapped around the doctor and Sky's wrists. The room's walls then fall away to show a dark grey room behind. Oh, so you know who I am then?
Of course I do. You destroyed my life.
The man's lopsided part of his face fell further. How? I haven't done anything with this face yet.
Of course you have. You destroyed my ship, my crew. All that was left was me. I had to restart my race from the beginning.
You probably have me mixed up. I haven't done anything yet. Suddenly, more people came into the room, one of them being the receptionist.
Oh, doctor, I'm not mistaken. The psychic energy coming off you was the same as that person ransacking my ship. Don't remember running around our ship placing explosives everywhere? Liar. You know what? Why don't I jog your memory a bit?
Suddenly, the man's skin fell away, showing an inky black creature underneath. It resembled a giant standing up frog, but with an extra eye. It also appeared to have no legs, but instead a sort of wisp, much like you would see in illustrations of ghosts. Sky began to gag at the sight of it. Oh, an Audrian! Such an interesting organism. The sister race of Raxacoricophalopatorius. I was wondering why your face was a little lopsided.
Do you remember what you did now, doctor?
Well, of course I do. Blowing your ship up was the last thing that my last reincarnation did. You're gonna shoot at Earth.
You have it all wrong, doctor. You see, we in Dragrafis, a fiendish race, are as you know in a mighty war. Unfortunately, due to the unforeseen circumstances, my ship was the only ship left in battle. The rest of the Audrian race had been wiped out. But it wasn't that ship until you blew it up. Anyway, due to the fact that our ship was the last, we had to hide. We decided to hide behind this rock as it just happened to be the place we warped to when we escaped. When we did so, your precious race of humans decided it would be a good idea to aim their guns at our ship. In defense, we did the same to them. And then you came into our ship without even letting us explain the situation. You just ran around placing explosives everywhere.
The doctor's face changed. to a more sorry one. I didn't know. I have to take things as being the worst situation, if you know what I mean.
Well, now I'm going to make you suffer.
The Audrian signalled to the people who entered, and they headed over to a machine which they wheeled over to where the doctor sat.
What's that?
A fertility chamber. Hang on. It all makes sense now. The fertility chamber. The amniotic fluid. The Audrians.
Well, you can leave that till after we are done with you.
The people bring pipes out of the machine and attach them to the doctor's arm after pulling up his sleeves.
What are they doing?
Well, Audrians are strange in how they reproduce. They kind of excrete this amniotic fluid and put it onto any other organism. The organism then absorbs the liquid, and then the baby gets produced from inside of that organism, feeding off its life energy. Then
Turn it on.
the machine gets turned on. It whirs and pumps black liquid into the doctor's veins. Then the parent is able to psychically control the hold of its baby, so it stays away from danger. The baby and parent keep the psychic bond, which helps keep the baby alive. So, what I'm guessing this machine does is replicate the amniotic fluid that the Audrian produces, as it can only produce so much. Ow!
Well done on understanding our biology, Doctor. I'm glad you could have one last moment of glory before your end and the Audrian's new beginning.
Suddenly, the doctor's hands begin to glow. Oh, I forgot about this.
What is it?
Well, Audrians have their special thing, but so do Time Lords.
Time Lords.
The doctor's hands begin to glow stronger. 15-hour regeneration cycle. You caught me at a bad time, fellas. I'm still regenerating. Which means weird things can happen when you hurt me. Suddenly, the pipes going into his arms deteriorate in the light, and so do the handcuffs keeping his arm on the chair. Oh, this is gonna be fun. The light filled the room. Skye closed her eyes expecting to be hurt, but instead, she just saw beauty from the look at the serene yellow glow. It turned the once-before grey room into a beautiful scenery of gold. She looked at the Audrian, or now Audrians as there were now 3 of them. Around the others' feet were leftover bodies of those that they had captured. The doctor talked to them in a soft voice. Now then, I want you to trust me.
I do.
Skye watched the Audrians. They were staring up at the doctor's glowing body, mesmerised. Okay, let go of all those people you have captured here. Let go of your children.
But I can't.
It's okay. You trust me, don't you?
Yes.
Now then, let them go. Suddenly, inky wisps floated through the air from outside of the room. They circled the room, forming some sort of hurricane around the Audrians. Skye watched this hurricane grow smaller as it entered the bodies of these frog-like creatures and disappeared. Good. Now then, after this point, I want you to follow my every instruction. It will ensure your safety and your race's safety. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
I do.
I'm going to let you go now. I need to know you trust me.
We do. With our life.
The glowing begins to fade and dissolve. The Audrians look at the doctor intently, but less like they are in a trance. Come on then! I know the perfect place I can take you.
Wait. Our children. They're gone.
Yeah, They had to die in order to keep the humans and the Audrians safe.
What do you mean by that?
The group begin to walk out of the room. Let's say the humans find out what you're doing. They would most probably wipe out your race then and there. Humans are vicious when threatened. I need you to get rid of all evidence of what you have done, for your safety. Now then, to save the Audrian race. They walk into a lift, and the doctor presses a button.
Won't people notice us?
Humans don't notice even the most obvious things. They never look. Sky turned to the doctor.
You said back there that everything made sense. But you didn't get to explain.
Oh yes! Well, the Audrians did make a cure for the virus, but they were then filling those pills with their amniotic fluid. And you know what happens when that makes contact with organisms?
So that means all the people that have taken it have a little baby Audrian inside them, and are also under the Audrian's mind control.
No! When I did that, may I say, spectacular thing with my regeneration energy, it hypnotised the Audrians. My hypnosis was way more powerful than the signal going from the Audrians to the people, so it weakened their psychic abilities. Then, all I had to do was get the Audrians to let go completely. Then, everyone who was affected got back to normal.
How about the man who killed himself?
Oh, he was probably way too affected to be fixed by what we've done today. We unfortunately came a little too late. Because the psychic link was lost from this Audrian and its baby inside the man, the baby has begun to die. But it's old enough to be able to survive without its parent's psychic link for a small amount of time. So it probably died of panic when we came into the room. Because it was dying, it got the man to jump as it was old enough by this point to control the man himself.
So what you're saying is that the baby inside of the man got the man to jump because it got hurt by your sonic thingy.
Exactly. They exited the lift, the Doctor and Sky sad about reminiscing on what they had witnessed in their past.
What was that thing about the 15-hour regeneration cycle?
Yes, I want to hear about that too. I've never heard of such a thing.
The Doctor smiled just as they left the building. Well, after a Time Lord regenerates, they have a 15-hour period in which they can carry on regenerating. Now, that yellow gas type stuff you saw coming out of me is regeneration energy. It does strange things when it's reacting inside my body. One time, it grew my cut-off hand back, and this time, it seems to hypnotise those threatening to damage me. My regeneration energy, I guess, retaliated.
You're a strange being, Doctor.
What's that supposed to mean? Sky chuckles. They carry on walking straight to the TARDIS.
The legendary TARDIS. They have been missed about this, you know.
Have there? Well then, let's confirm them. The Doctor unlocked the TARDIS and the doors creaked open. He signalled for the Audrians to enter before him. They entered and looked around in amazement.
The myths are true.
I guess so? When everyone had gotten into the TARDIS, the Doctor closed the door and ran up to the console. Now then, I'm going to take you to the best hospital in the universe.
Hospital? Why a hospital?
They have an ICM, or an inexact cloning machine. It's the fastest one of its kind. After running around and pressing many switches, the Doctor pulls a large lever and the central column begins to form into a whirlpool. The Audrians watch it with amazement. The Doctor goes up to Sky. Audrians have always respected me. I guess that's why it was so easy for me to hypnotise them.
You said we're going to the best hospital in the universe? Does that mean...
Yes. You will be leaving Earth. Sky looks worried at the Doctor. Don't worry. If it wasn't for this virus, many of you would be off Earth anyway. I won't explain that though, because I don't want to ruin the surprise.
Surprise?
The Doctor didn't listen to her reply, but instead ran over to the console and flipped the big lever back up again. Right then, everyone out! The Audrians open the door and leave the TARDIS. The Doctor goes towards the door. You too, Sky, I want you to see this.
I'll be right there.
Sky walked to the door, but something was stopping her. She wasn't sure what, but something just felt off. She stared out of the door for a little bit, unsure what to do. Suddenly, a giant gust of wind forced her out of the TARDIS. She fell on the ground outside. The Doctor rushed over. Hey, what was that for, madam? The TARDIS made some cheerful whirring sounds. Sky got helped up by the Doctor. If it's any consolation, she did say she was sorry, even through her laughter.
No, it's okay. I think I needed it. Whoa.
Sky noticed a giant window filling an entire wall of this giant white lobby. The Doctor noticed her looking at it. Why don't you wait over there, and I'll get these Audrians sorted, okay? Sky nodded her head in a daze of amazement. She went up to the window. The TARDIS made a calm sounding noise.
I don't know what you're saying, but I can guess about the amazing view.
She stared out of the window. As she stared, she noticed more and more beautiful things. Filling almost half of the view of the window was a planet, much like Earth except more purple coloured. On the right side of where Sky was looking was a rainbow cloud, a nebula. As well as this, littered throughout the green surroundings were beautiful stars.
That nebula over there is called Radio 7.
Sky turned around to see who was talking to her, but all that was behind her was the TARDIS, shining its light joyfully at Sky. She watched the reception desk and saw the Doctor leave it. She watched the Audrians get escorted away. I thought you'd be looking outside.
I was, but then a woman talked to me.
But there wasn't anyone here.
I know. It was just that TARDIS. I'm probably getting tired from everything happening today.
That's understandable. It's your first trip after all.
First, will there be more?
Well, of course. As long as that's what you want. She looked down. The Doctor frowned, afraid at her response. You don't want to travel with me, do you?
Well, yes, but no, I don't know. There is something stopping me from wanting to.
Is it your studies? Your family? Do you feel in danger?
No, it's something else. I just don't understand it.
The Doctor walked over to the window and leaned next to it, very obviously sad. Okay, that's fine, yeah. Totally fine. It's not like I've been travelling alone for 2,200 years and I'm lonely as anything.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
How about this? You drop me back home so that I can spend some time with my family and also think, and then you can come back in, let's say, 2 months?
The Doctor's face lit up. Sky smiled. Deal!
But remember, my answer may still be no.
That's fine. He and Sky turned to the window, happy that they had came to an agreement. The Doctor pointed at the nebula. You see that nebula over there? It's called
Radio 7. I know.
The TARDIS made an angry whir noise. The Doctor looked at Sky and the TARDIS confused. Hang on. So you spoke to her, and you, Sky, heard her?
What are you talking about?
The TARDIS said she told you the name of the nebula. Is that what the woman said? The name of the nebula?
Yeah? Oh my god, I talked to your ship?
He and Sky walked over to the ship, confused. The Doctor smiled and turned to Sky. You're one special girl, Sky. She smiled back at him. I'm guessing you want to get back home?
Yes, please.
The Doctor smiled once more, and he held the door open for Sky to enter. He closed it when he went through. Well, even if you do decide to stay home, I'm glad we got to at least go on one adventure. He walks up to the control panel. Sky smiled.
Yeah. I agree.
Anyway, he started pressing buttons. 7th of September 2020, right?
No, when I found you today it was 6th of July 2021.
What? He confusingly inputted the date into the TARDIS console unit. Suddenly, he stopped. Hang on. None of this makes sense.
What do you mean?
He goes up to his whiteboard and begins to write on it in scrawly handwriting. Well, I blew up the ship on the 7th of September 2020. I then fell down to Earth, where you found me, and somehow, in the time I fell, the Audrian takes over a massive company, even though we fell together. The massive lever on the console unit flicks by itself. The TARDIS begins to whir as it takes off. Oh, thank you, dear. Anyway, on top of that, it seems to take me 10 months to fall to Earth. It should at least take 10 minutes.
So you're saying that it must have taken you 10 months to fall down to Earth, because how else would the Audrian be able to take over a giant company like Bad Wolf?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Oh, and also, he scrawls the words Bad Wolf onto the whiteboard. That's another thing. Where have I heard Bad Wolf? The TARDIS lands. Skye carries on looking at the board for a bit, confused.
Well, I probably should get going.
Yeah. He turns away from the whiteboard. I have landed in front of your house, just after we left together. Skye smiles at him.
Thank you.
Well then, see you in 2 months. He taps the whiteboard. Oh, and if you can, keep thinking about this. You have more time to think of it than I do. And also you're a very bright girl.
Thank you.
She smiles. Oh, and you'll need this. He takes something from his backwards pocket. He throws it at Skye. Wow, I have an awful throw.
What is it?
What she had caught was a key. She turned it over in her hands. It's a key to the TARDIS. If you ever need me to come back sooner, talk to the key about needing my help. The TARDIS will be here. She smiles at the Doctor and holds the key tight.
Thank you, Doctor. I truly mean that. You have given me a day to remember.
The Doctor smiles. His smile somehow looked sad. Skye smiles back. She opened the door a little and slips her body through it. The Doctor watches her go, and with sadness he sighs. But then he smiles. Let's give her something else to remember. The Doctor presses 3 switches at once, and then one large lever. Skye is waiting outside, waiting for the devastation of the TARDIS's fading. But instead, the TARDIS lifts up and begins spinning around her, to span faster and faster around her, and then suddenly, fading into view, was the most perfect view of space she had ever seen. There, in front of her, the nebula Ravia 7, as well as the soft glowing effect that the Doctor produced. Much like when she was looking through the window, the more she stared, the more beauty she noticed. She watched this projection and never wanted it to end. Sadly though, it did, and reality began to fade back into view. The TARDIS, now gone from in front of her. Skye realised something was different ever since that light show. Suddenly, she saw the projection once more, but instead it was in her mind and it was vivid.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
Skye began to skip happily towards the gates of her garden. She stopped, realising something.
Oh no, I forgot Fruity. Mom's gonna kill me.